Welcome back, friends. So today's mortgage tip, and I don't know if it's really a mortgage tip. I think it's more of a people tip. You may find yourself in a weird place. The economy is not doing very well. Rates are increasing, obviously. Housing market is slowing down. So I wanted to kind of help you guys. I've said this and I'll say this a million times. This is the perfect time to build long-lasting relationships in our industry. So I wanted to share something with you today. Every Friday, I hold a mindset class, and we had a very good conversation, and I wanted to bring it to you today. Your whole life has been turmoil. We all have had good times and bad times. As soon as you come out of the womb, you are introduced to violence by being slapped on the backside to take your first breath. Now, listen, I believe they changed this process since I was born, but I definitely know I was slapped on the butt when I was born. That's 100%. This is your first introduction into this world. It's very ironic because this is your first introduction into the way the rest of your life is going to go. You will be beat down. You're going to be held back. You're going to be told, don't do this, don't do that. Everywhere you go, you're going to find everyone's opinion telling you what's wrong or what's right. See, what happens is we're trained. Our earlier lives, we are trained by parents, teachers, and peers. We're influenced by what we see and what we are told. We are trained to believe what is right and what is wrong, how we do this, how we do that. As we grow, these things are instilled in us. They are part of who we are. We have allowed outside influences to dictate how we will do things for the rest of our lives. This is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to be. But where in this do we find our true selves? Where in this do we find our power? Where do we find our true purpose in life? That answer, my friends, lives with each and every one of you. And truth be told, your power has already been on display. You just didn't know you were using it. Each and every one of us is born with a very unique gift. We all have something we were put on earth to do. But every day that we are conformed and twisted into doing what others say, we chip away at that truth. We transform into what others think and want us to be. If we always have the mindset of thinking the way others think, then we are limiting our own powers and ideas. We aren't allowing ourselves to come out and make decisions that are based on what we believe to be true. Now, listen, I can only speak on this because I was also caught in this trap. Okay. I would have a great idea, share it with others, and be told my idea wouldn't work. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say that. You need to do this. You need to do that. The list goes on and on and on. I would take these opinions and move forward with my idea. I would change it. I would conform it. I would do what everyone else said, and ultimately the idea wouldn't work. I would adjust how I speak or what I said because the other person's opinion would hold more weight than my own. Now, I am not saying you shouldn't listen to what others say. I am saying that we should listen, but be mindful of what we are hearing. Sometimes you need to hear something in order to be better, not to be better for them, but to be better for you. We should listen and then reflect. We should see where the opinion came from and is it a credible source? Was this from someone that we trust? We should ask ourselves questions about this information and make sure that the change falls in line with who you are or who you want to be. Now, since we've been trained, we can be retrained. It takes years, decades to be conditioned the way you are now, but will take less time getting back to who you were meant to be. We all have seen that one person or have met that one person that just seems to hold it all together. They seem like they have all the answers. We're in awe of them because they seem to always make the right decision. The reason why we're in awe is because we say to ourselves, I wish I could do that. I wish I had that level of confidence. I wish I had all the answers. Well, guess what? You are that person. You just haven't taken the time to find your power. You haven't taken the time to find your true purpose. You were living with a limited view and weren't aware that inside of you, there are limitless possibilities. That person looks like a rock, but they still get sad. They still get confused. They still have good days and bad days. The only difference between you and that person is that they have a better understanding of who they are and who they want to be. Listen, we're all human beings. Okay? We all have the same emotions. That will never change. But what can change is our perspective and our mindsets. Once we change these things, the world opens up. It honestly makes dealing with life way easier. You start to hold yourself to your own beliefs. You start to hold yourself to your own set of boundaries. Things start making more sense. I couldn't tell you the amount of people that have told me I had so much potential. I would think, what are you talking about? I've always been a top loan originator. I'm successful. I have this, I have that. I would say, "Oh, this is only a tool you're trying to use to produce more out of me so you can gain something." See, when my blinders were taken off, I saw that these people actually cared about me. They were right. I got in my own way. I was stubborn, a control freak, extremely opinionated, and I was never wrong. You couldn't tell me anything because I knew everything. They saw I had something great inside and they just wanted it to come out. Only after having to go and gain knowledge myself was I able to truly see what all these people were telling me. I had to take the time and reflect on everything in my life. And what I found was that I was hiding from my past, but yet my past was exactly where I was still living. I thought I had grown up and was doing everything right, but actually, I was still a lost, scared, confused child living in a man's body. This was my reflection on myself, and honestly, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Me finding my purpose and power. It was there the whole time. I just couldn't see it because I had blinders up. And no matter what anyone told me, I wasn't going to listen because I knew better. I got in my own way. You and only you can find who you truly are. These steps are actually simple, but a few care to really deep dive and start them. I'll give you a beginning to finding your power. Now, these were only simply some of the things that I did in finding my power. I also had to hit rock bottom before I started these things, but honestly, I don't regret it. Um, this is just simply the way it's supposed to be. I can't hit rewind and go back. I can only leave the play button on and move forward. I don't dwell in the past, and and I hope you don't as well. And listen, um, the teacher will present itself when the student is ready. Step one, I made a strong vow to myself. Okay. I told myself that I'm going to do whatever it takes to feel and be better. Whatever it takes. I don't care, whatever it takes. Instead of watching TV or doing nonsense things that waste time, I would invest in myself. Even when I get what I want, I still invest in myself. I am now a trained investing in myself person every day. Every day I'm reading a book, every day I'm teaching, every day I'm investing. Okay. Now, this has to be your top priority. You are the most important thing in your life. Give back to yourself. Without you, there is nothing. No business plan or personal plan will ever work if you aren't 100% committed. And if you can't commit to yourself, then you need to ask yourself, can you really commit to anything else? The second thing is knowledge. You must let go of your current way of thinking. If what you are doing isn't working for you, whether it's through business or in your personal life, then you have to scratch the plan and create a new one. The facts are that it's not working, and it's no one else's fault but your own. Stop doing what doesn't work and do the exact opposite. You are doing things with a limited point of view. You must admit that the way you think got you here. The way you conduct your business got you here, and it's all wrong. I want you to take some time. You need to sit down, write a list of things that you wished were better in your life. You need to write a list of how you truly feel. You need to be 100% honest with yourself. Then you need to go find knowledge about how you can satisfy this list. Okay. And when I say go get knowledge, when you go get books, don't just get one book. You need to get several sources. I would suggest at least three different sources on these subjects. Okay. The more sources and information, the better you have of formulating your own new beliefs. And number three, is there something that you like doing or liked doing before or when you were younger and you just stopped doing it for whatever reason? If the answer is yes, you need to start doing it again immediately. Immediately. I would suggest doing it alone or finding something you will enjoy doing alone. See, for me, growing up, I grew up in a town that was just south of a mountain. I used to love hiking in nature. Every summer we would go cliff diving, we would do all types of crazy stuff in nature. It was amazing. Love the beach, all of that good stuff. As an adult, I would go into nature maybe once or twice a year. And if asked to go, I would have to think about it. And because of all the excuses that would pop into my mind, um, I wouldn't focus on the enjoyment. I'd focus on all the negative of what's going to happen. Oh, it's going to take time. I'm going to drive here. It was just, it was nuts. So I just started going back into the mountains. I honestly, I just go by myself. At first, I felt awkward my first trip because I cared about what everyone else would think. Why is this guy at the campground by himself when there's families and couples and all of this stuff? All of these negative thoughts would be in my head. After my first visit, I fell back in love. All the negative thoughts that I had about the trip, of course, didn't come true. The next 3 months, every Friday, I would travel to my favorite campsite, listen to an audiobook. I would write my list next to the lake of what I wanted, who I wanted to be, and what I wanted to become. I'd cook my lunch and dinner on an open campfire. I mean, the star, you see every single star. It was just beautiful. I found my happy place. Find somewhere like this. Okay. Have the tough discussions with yourself. Now, not all my trips were happy. There was a lot of times where, I went back to some very, very troubling memories and I had to relive them, and it was not happy. But I did a lot of soul searching on that mountain, and I look forward to going back when the campground opens back up here shortly. See, you can only find you. You can only know your true power. No one can help you on this journey. It is and has always been inside of you. I hope today you start taking the first step to finding your power. Well, my friends, I hope this message finds you well today. And as always, stay hungry.